Hello everyone. Many people dream of moving to a country where they can enjoy a comfortable lifestyle while earning income from abroad. This is especially appealing to freelancers, remote workers, retirees, and investors who aren't tied to a specific location. However, a low cost of living is only part of the picture. Affordable prices often come with trade-offs, such as weaker infrastructure, lower average incomes, language barriers, political instability, or limited healthcare services. In this video, we'll explore some of the cheapest countries to live in around the world. We've divided them into 4 regions: Asia, Africa, Latin America, and Europe. For each country, we'll cover the average cost of housing, food, and transportation, along with the biggest advantages and disadvantages of living there. If you're thinking about relocating, becoming a digital nomad, retiring abroad, or simply curious about where your money can go the furthest, this video is for you. Let's get started. Let's begin with Asia, one of the most affordable regions in the world. Aside from expensive destinations like Singapore, it's still possible to rent an apartment in many Asian countries for just $100 to $300 per month. Of course, lower prices often come with crowded cities, language barriers, and challenging weather conditions. Vietnam. A comfortable lifestyle in Vietnam typically costs between $300 and $600 per month. In Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, you can rent a one-bedroom apartment for around $150 to $300 per month. A bowl of the famous pho soup costs just $1 to $2, while a bus ride is usually less than $1. Vietnam attracts expats with fast internet, modern infrastructure, and relatively easy 90-day visa options. On the downside, traffic can be overwhelming. Millions of motorbikes fill the streets, English isn't widely spoken outside tourist areas, and the rainy season brings high humidity and frequent storms. India. Living comfortably in India can cost as little as $200 to $500 per month. In Goa or Jaipur, apartment rentals range from $100 to $200. A meal at a local restaurant costs between 50 cents and $2, while a ride in an auto rickshaw usually costs 20 cents to $1. English is commonly spoken in major cities and tourist destinations, making everyday life easier for foreigners. However, traffic is one of India's biggest challenges. Congestion can last for hours, even in smaller cities, and local driving habits can be a shock for newcomers. Another thing to keep in mind is the spicy local cuisine, which may not suit everyone's stomach, so many expats prefer restaurants serving international food. Thailand. A comfortable monthly budget in Thailand is around $400 to $700. Chiang Mai remains one of the most popular destinations for digital nomads. Renting an apartment costs $200 to $400 per month, delicious street food is available for just $1 to $3, and renting a scooter, one of the country's main forms of transportation, costs about $50 per month. Thailand is considered one of the most welcoming countries in Asia for foreigners. However, popular destinations like Phuket have become significantly more expensive. Traffic congestion is common in larger cities, and the hot, humid climate isn't for everyone. Indonesia. Living comfortably in Indonesia also costs around $400 to $700 per month. On Bali, you can rent an apartment or a small villa for $200 to $400 per month. Meals at local cafes cost around $1 to $3, while scooter rentals average about $50 per month. The biggest downside is overcrowding in popular tourist areas. Outside Bali, internet service can be much less reliable. Rising demand for housing has also prompted local authorities to introduce stricter rules for foreign residents and property rentals. Nepal may not be the first country that comes to mind for relocation, but it's one of the cheapest places to live, with monthly expenses ranging from just $200 to $400. In Kathmandu, apartment rentals cost around $100 to $200, while meals and local transportation are both very affordable. Nepal is a paradise for mountain lovers and anyone looking for a slower pace of life. However, the country's rugged terrain makes infrastructure development difficult and expensive. As a result, roads, internet access, and healthcare outside the capital remain less developed than in many other Asian countries. Now let's move on to Africa. This continent is home to many of the world's cheapest countries to live in. However, in most cases, the low cost of living is a direct result of weaker economies, lower average incomes, and underdeveloped infrastructure. Even so, there are a few countries that can be attractive options for expats. Morocco. A comfortable lifestyle in Morocco typically costs between $400 and $700 per month. In cities like Rabat or Marrakesh, renting a one-bedroom apartment costs around $200 to $400 per month, while everyday expenses remain relatively affordable. Morocco's biggest advantage is its location. Europe is only a short flight away, and many nationalities can enter the country visa-free for up to 90 days. On the downside, Arabic and French are the primary languages used in daily life, so adapting can be difficult without knowing at least one of them. For the best quality of life, it's recommended to settle in larger cities, where infrastructure and public safety are generally much better. Tunisia. Living comfortably in Tunisia requires around $300 to $600 per month. In the capital city of Tunis, apartment rentals range from $150 to $300, while food, transportation, and other daily expenses usually cost just $1 to $3. Located on the Mediterranean coast between Libya and Algeria, Tunisia has managed to maintain a more stable political and economic environment than many of its neighbors. However, English is not widely spoken, which can make dealing with paperwork, government offices, and even everyday shopping more challenging. Ghana. A comfortable monthly budget in Ghana is approximately $400 to $800. In the capital, Accra, apartment rentals cost between $200 and $400, while in smaller towns you can often find housing for as little as $100 to $150 per month. As a former British colony, Ghana uses English as its official language, making it one of the easiest countries in West Africa for English-speaking expats. On the downside, internet quality declines outside major coastal cities, and the healthcare system remains underdeveloped, which may be an important consideration for retirees and families. Kenya. Living comfortably in Kenya typically costs between $400 and $700 per month. In Nairobi, apartment rentals average $200 to $400 per month. Many expats also choose the coastal city of Mombasa, although rental prices there are slightly higher, ranging from $300 to $500. Kenya is another African country where English is an official language. Despite being located near several politically unstable regions, Kenya has maintained a relatively stable political environment and offers a reasonable level of safety in its major cities. However, crime rates tend to be higher in remote areas and outside popular tourist destinations. Uganda. A comfortable lifestyle in Uganda costs around $300 to $600 per month. In the capital city of Kampala, renting an apartment typically costs $150 to $300 per month. Since English is widely spoken, finding housing and handling everyday tasks is generally straightforward. Although Uganda has no coastline, it is home to part of Lake Victoria, the largest lake in Africa and the world's second largest freshwater lake by surface area. The country's biggest drawbacks are slow internet speeds, poor road conditions, and occasional power outages. While Uganda offers an extremely affordable lifestyle, adapting to the local infrastructure may take some time. Now let's head to Latin America. This region is known for its warm climate, stunning natural landscapes, and relatively low cost of living. However, not every country is equally suitable for expats. In some places, high crime rates remain a serious concern, making it especially important to choose your destination carefully. Ecuador. A comfortable lifestyle in Ecuador typically costs between $400 and $700 per month. In Quito or Cuenca, you can rent a one-bedroom apartment for around $200 to $400 per month. A meal at a local restaurant usually costs $2 to $4, while a bus ride is only 30 cents to $1. One of Ecuador's biggest advantages is that the US dollar is the country's official currency, eliminating exchange rate concerns for many foreigners. However, basic Spanish is almost essential for everyday life, as English is not widely spoken. The country's true highlight is the Galapagos Islands. On Santa Cruz Island, apartment rentals range from $350 to $600 per month. While living costs are higher there, residents enjoy year-round temperatures of around 72 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, along with some of the most unique wildlife and breathtaking natural scenery on Earth. Peru. Living comfortably in Peru requires approximately $400 to $700 per month. In Lima or Arequipa, apartment rentals range from $200 to $400 per month. A traditional serving of ceviche costs about $2 to $4, while local bus fares are typically 50 cents to $1. Peru is famous for the Andes Mountains and the ancient Incan citadel of Machu Picchu, one of the world's most iconic archaeological sites. While the country remains affordable, Lima's heavy traffic can be exhausting, and Peru's location along the Pacific Ring of Fire means earthquakes are a regular occurrence. Colombia. A comfortable monthly budget in Colombia is around $500 to $800. In Medellin, renting a one-bedroom apartment costs between $250 and $500 per month. Thanks to its mild climate and almost non-existent seasonal temperature changes, the city has become one of the most popular destinations for digital nomads and retirees. Colombia is often considered one of South America's most beautiful countries. Over the past decade, security has improved significantly in major cities. Nevertheless, travelers and expats should still exercise caution when visiting remote regions outside well-known urban and tourist areas. Mexico. Living comfortably in Mexico generally costs between $600 and $900 per month. In Guadalajara or Oaxaca, apartment rentals range from $300 to $600 per month, considerably less than in most cities across the United States. Mexico remains one of the most popular destinations for American expats thanks to its modern infrastructure, excellent private healthcare system, and relatively affordable lifestyle. However, some regions continue to struggle with organized crime, while bureaucracy and corruption can make administrative procedures frustrating and time-consuming. Bolivia. A comfortable lifestyle in Bolivia costs approximately $300 to $600 per month. In La Paz, apartment rentals average $150 to $300 per month. Although Sucre is the country's constitutional capital, most government institutions are located in La Paz. Bolivia's defining feature is its dramatic high-altitude landscape. La Paz sits at an elevation of nearly 12,000 feet above sea level, so many newcomers need time to adjust to the thinner air. The mountainous terrain also makes infrastructure development more difficult, resulting in slower internet, challenging road conditions, and limited transportation options in some parts of the country. Europe is generally more expensive than other regions, with Western Europe being the most costly. That's why we've selected the most affordable country from each part of Europe: Western, Eastern, Northern, and Southern, making this section a list of just 4 countries. Portugal. A comfortable lifestyle in Portugal typically costs between $600 and $900 per month. In cities like Braga or Coimbra, renting a one-bedroom apartment costs around $350 to $600 per month. A meal at a local tavern is about $4 to $7, while public transport costs roughly $1 to $2. Portugal stands out as one of the most affordable countries in Western Europe. It offers a mild climate, Atlantic beaches, solid infrastructure, and a high level of safety. Many nationalities can also stay visa-free for up to 90 days. However, Lisbon is significantly more expensive, and outside tourist areas, not knowing Portuguese can make daily life more difficult. Bulgaria. A comfortable monthly budget in Bulgaria ranges from $450 to $750. In Sofia or Plovdiv, apartment rentals cost about $250 to $400 per month. Similar prices can also be found along the Black Sea coast, which is extremely rare for Europe. Bulgaria is widely considered the cheapest country in Europe, often competing with Romania for the top spot. It offers very low housing costs and affordable coastal living. However, winters can be quite harsh, and bureaucracy tends to move slowly. Latvia. Living comfortably in Latvia typically costs between $600 and $900 per month. In Riga, apartment rentals range from $350 to $600 per month. Outside the capital, however, opportunities and infrastructure become significantly more limited. Latvia is one of the most affordable countries in Northern Europe. It offers a high level of safety, good roads, and reliable internet. The main drawback is that most economic and social activity is concentrated in Riga, leaving smaller towns with fewer job and lifestyle opportunities. Albania. A comfortable lifestyle in Albania costs around $400 to $700 per month. In Tirana or the coastal city of Durrës, apartment rentals range from $200 to $300 per month, making Albania one of the cheapest countries in southern Europe. Often called a hidden gem of the Balkans, Albania offers beautiful Adriatic coastline, warm weather, and very low living costs. However, infrastructure is still developing, and English is not widely spoken outside major cities, which can make daily life more challenging for newcomers. A low cost of living can be a powerful reason to consider relocating, but it should never be the only factor. In many cases, extremely cheap countries come with economic instability, inflation, currency devaluation, or weak infrastructure. For example, in Turkey, life can still be quite affordable. Renting an apartment in Istanbul or Antalya can cost around $200 to $500 per month. However, high inflation makes long-term planning unpredictable and everyday expenses can change rapidly. A similar situation has been observed in Argentina, where prices can increase dramatically within a single year due to persistent inflation. While foreign income goes a long way there, economic volatility remains a major concern. Even countries like Ukraine and Russia offer relatively low living costs. However, ongoing military conflict, which escalated after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, has created serious safety risks and made relocation there far more complicated. That said, conditions can change over time. In the future, some of these countries may become attractive relocation destinations once stability is restored. Let us know in the comments which country from this list you would choose for living abroad, and why. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.